pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, November 17th, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting. Before the meeting begins, there's some business to take care of as Mayor Dunges is away and President Allaire is filling in. A chair will need to be nominated to preside over tonight's meeting. Are there any nominations?
Nominate Alderman Donahue.
Second. I'll move to close the nominations.
All those in favor of Alderman Donahue being your board president for tonight's Board of Aldermen meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Come on up.
I didn't hear any no's. Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started. It is 7:01, and we'll begin the meeting. I left my phone at home, so I definitely won't be interrupted tonight. Get the Planning Commission items out of the way, and we had our public hearing at 6:15. We started with our Pledge of Allegiance. Now we'll ask for any additions, deletions, and other modifications to the agenda.
Mr. President,
Yes, Alderman Gillum.
we need to add a special permit for the Casella Christmas Truck Parade underneath the under permits.
Yep. Okay, and when that comes up, we'll suspend the rules and take that up, or move to suspend the rules anyway, to take that up tonight. Any other modifications, additions, deletions to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move along. We have our first, oh wait, we want to start with amendment and approval of the minutes of the
I'll
previous
move for the
meeting.
approval.
Second,
So that is the November 3rd, 2025 minutes. And we have a motion to approve as, no, I saw the word amendment on here. Tracy, that is regarding,
If somebody had an amendment.
if anybody, okay, just wanted to make sure. So we're approving them as is.
Correct.
Have a second to that motion. Any debate? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll go to the public comment. So we'll open up this opportunity to go around the room. Anybody who wants to address the board, we just ask that you provide your name and address for the record, and then we ask you to try to be as brief as you can, preferably 5 minutes or less, because we have a long agenda to get through tonight, and a lot of people are waiting to participate in different portions of the meeting. So with that, anybody here that wants to speak to the board? I see a hand over here with Cam Johnston. Cam? All right.
I'm here to be extremely brief. I'm talking about 49. It's not on the agenda.
Sorry to interrupt, but can you just formally, Cam, just formality, but your name and address for the record, please and thank you.
I thought I had to sign something, so I figured.
No, you just have to announce it. It'll go on the minutes.
Yes,
Thank you,
Cam
Cam.
Johnson, Pine and Maple, Rutland, Vermont.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Hey, you too. This is a brief one. I'll start out with a question. Can I talk in the section when they talk about the city-owned property? Are you going to allow public comment then?
So this should be regarding anything that's not on the agenda, but
I just wanted to
we
make sure-
had, so we won't be doing that later because we did have a public hearing on that at 6:15, and the members of the public went around the room twice. So,
Point of order, I think he's asking about the city-owned property.
oh, the city-owned properties. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about their land use regulations.
Yes.
No.
The answer would be yes.
Okay. Now I can't remember the question. Oh, yet I can talk later. Yes.
So would this be specific to that or something else?
Well, no, the 49 is specific because they got pulled it. So I presume that the person either backed out or there's some other reason. In the subcommittee meeting, they offered $40,000 for 49 Pine. So I was just curious as to why that happened. So it's not on the agenda today because it got pulled. The second issue is that I'd like for consideration is that there's a cloud over the title. This has gone on very long, and I just want anybody that buys the property to be well aware, buyer beware. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cam. All right. Anybody else from the public? All right, and hearing none, we're going to go to communications from the mayor. We have our acting mayor, David Allaire, and he has a resolution, or proclamation, actually, And I would turn the floor over to you, Acting Mayor.
I do. Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate it. Great to be with you all. Just briefly, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Brian Collmore was in touch with both the mayor and myself about the upcoming WSYB Christmas Fund and asked that if we would consider putting a proclamation together. And I got together with Mayor Dunges, and he was good enough to put together one for us. And seeing how he is not here tonight, I've been asked to read it, and so I will go ahead and do that. And I'm sure we are all aware of the WSYB Christmas Fund and the great work that they've done since 1972, and many, many families and folks that they've helped in this community. So I will go ahead and read the proclamation. The WSYB Christmas Fund was started in 1972 by the radio station after a young boy wrote a letter to Santa asking for a blanket and boots for his sick brother, not toys for himself. And whereas the community's generous response, providing the requested items, inspired the station to create the fund to help other needy families in Rutland County during the holidays. Since then, the fund has evolved into a 501c3 nonprofit, raising over $2.5 million to provide assistance to local families. And whereas funds are distributed to families referred by local social service agencies, schools, and churches. Gift cards are distributed only to Rutland County residents. And whereas, as of 2025, it has been active for over 53 years. It is totally a volunteer-based effort. No one is paid, and all proceeds, 100% of the proceeds from the donations, go back out to the community. Last year, the fund collected $64,000, which enabled the distribution of gift cards to thousands of Rutland County residents. And whereas the WSYB Christmas Fund was recently awarded the Community Service Award from the Vermont Association of Broadcasters. Now, therefore, we, the Rutland City Board of Aldermen, and Rutland City Mayor Mike Dunges, proclaim Friday, November 28th, 2025, WSYB Christmas Fund Day to recognize and support this year's efforts. So I just want to say thank you to Brian and Terry J. and for all the work they've done on this ever since they started the WSYB, and there was other members of the clan that have since passed that have started the WSYB Christmas Fund and all the good work that they've done. So we want to thank them and proclaim that day. So
Awesome.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And one other thing I wanted to mention while I was up here tonight, I was in touch with our city treasurer about a week ago to formalize a date for our final budget meeting, as the budget meetings are going to be coming up sooner rather than later. And we have designated the 18th of December, which is a Thursday night at 5:30 for that final budget meeting. So if you want to plan that in your calendars, please go ahead and do that. And I would encourage those committee chairs who have not yet scheduled a meeting to go ahead and please do that, and we can get to work.
Did we have a time in mind for that?
5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yes, please. And that's all I got.
Thank you very much. It's an outstanding effort, and appreciate that proclamation being read and you and the mayor creating that for us. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we'll go right on to our special event permits. We'll start with the one on the agenda, which is the tree lighting at Depot Park, November 28th. It's a big event. Al, if you don't mind just doing the whole name and like we don't know you, but.
Of course. My name is Hal Asente, and I'm from the Downtown Rutland Partnership.
Thank you.
I'm here tonight for the special event permit for the Christmas tree lighting at Depot Park. It's an annual tradition here in Rutland. I've talked with Santa, and he is excited to get a ride from Rutland City's fire department down the hill to Depot Park. He will light our tree. We're also happy to have community partners there. Mission City Church will have hot cocoa. The Pines will have cookies. WJJR will be there with their radio van for some reporting. And we're also excited to have light specs for all the children. They're like 3D glasses that turn lights into colorful Christmas images and candy canes. And it's going to be a really fun event. This event would not be possible without support from our friends and partners from Rutland Rec, who sources the tree and installs it in Depot Park, and also the fire department for giving a ride to Santa. We're also very grateful to everyone who is a volunteer and a supporter who also chips in on that day. We have a lot of great volunteers who hand out the light specs and candy canes, and it should be a really fun event. So thank you for your consideration.
And I want to compliment you on your communication and broadcasting it out. I've seen it everywhere. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alderman Gillum?
Move to suspend the rules and take the matter up tonight.
We have a Second. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Move for approval for the tree lighting at Depot Park,
Second to that motion.
November 28th.
Second.
And seconded. Okay. Any further discussion or questions for the Downtown Rutland Partnership or our Superintendent of Recreation? Hearing none. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Okay, that motion carries. No, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I will add that there's an incredibly great event happening at the Paramount that night. Celebrated children's author Jan Brett will be signing copies of her new book, The Christmas Sweater, which features a little pug in a sweater. And before the event at 4 p.m., we'll have pugs and sweaters in my office for a little meet and greet and a photo shoot. So there'll be pugs and sweaters in my office, and then Jan Brett's event, and then come over to the Christmas tree lighting. Should be a really fun evening.
Perfect.
Thank you all so much.
Want to mention your location now?
Oh, 28 Center Street.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, now we had one item that we moved onto the agenda under amendment and an approval of the special event permits, and that is this one, I think. Does everybody have a copy of the
Yeah, we have it on
Casella?
the
desk.
Yeah, okay, great. So the Casella Christmas Tree Parade, which is also becoming somewhat of a tradition. Alderman Gillum.
Move to suspend the rules and take the matter up tonight.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you.
Move for approval of the Christmas truck parade by Casella and others going through Rutland City and other towns on December 5th.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
We do have a representative here who might want to talk about it for a few seconds.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for being here. If you don't mind just mentioning your name and address for the record. And
Nathan Mount with Casella Waste in West Rutland.
thank you.
So this will be our fourth annual convoy, the fourth year we're doing it. We didn't quite realize the first 2 years that we needed permission to drive through the city and through stop signs. So we learned. Last year we got approval. We're hoping for approval this year. Like you said, Friday, December 5th will be the date. We do have a snow date of December 12th. Hopefully it won't come to that. The parade will start at 6:30 from West Rutland and then go through Proctor and then back into Rutland. And the route's a little different this year, but we still have approval for our state police and Rutland Town Police. So it should be very smooth. We're very excited. I think we got 30 vehicles already, so.
That was going to be my next question. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
excellent. 30 vehicles. That's fantastic. And where will we be able to see the route? For those that want to watch?
We're gonna go down West Street, Meadow Street, River, Strongs, Allen, Stratton, Woodstock, North Main, Lincoln, West Street, South Main, Madison, Strongs, Crescent, Pierpoint, and Columbia. So,
Right?
Perfect.
I think,
Sit on my front porch with a hot chocolate.
there you go. The big ask we had last year was more through the city, so we tried to pick a route that was best for all the trucks and tractor trailers that are gonna be going, so.
That's great.
We drove the route Thursday, and that seemed like the safest route to go, so.
Excellent.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I want to put a hashtag on the hashtag Real Rutland. Okay, so we have a motion to approve and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Excellent, thank you. All right, now we do have a report from Assessor Katie Langlois on the errors and omissions of the grand list. She was not available tonight, but Alderwoman Davis has agreed to, you have it in front of you, I think.
Yep.
But Alderwoman Davis has agreed to speak to it if there was any questions you might have. I printed it out earlier, and it seems pretty straightforward, but,
So at this time, I'll move to suspend the rules.
Second.
okay. Any discussion? Oh, I guess that's not, we don't need to debate that. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. And opposed? Motion carries.
So as the chair said, Assessor Langlois is not able to be here this evening, and these are errors and omission that occurred once the grand list had been reconciled and they were found. So there are 5 parcels with an explanation of what needs to be changed. One in particular is waiting for an updated tax bill in order to sell their property. So Katie was hoping that we'd get them done this evening so these folks can move on. So I'm going to move for the approval of the errors and omissions as presented by the city assessor and parcels as they're presented to us 1 through 5.
Second.
Very good. Any questions or debate on that? Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward, I think, and probably negligible.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I believe there's I have to authorize the board chair to sign the changes to the grand list. Part of my motion would be that as well.
Okay,
The second agrees to that.
perfect. Okay. Everybody's had a chance to look at it. And kind of reminds me of some of the adjustments we'd make when we do our site visits.
That's correct.
Frankly, so it's pretty simple, straightforward. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't go outside the rail on this, Kim. I'm sorry, but that's any questions or debate inside the rail. Okay, if not, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded to approve as presented. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shannon. All right, we're going to go on to our Superintendent of Recreation. Lieutenant Cioffi is here. The concession agreement with City of Rutland and Rutland Community Programs.
Good evening. So I'm hoping you all had a copy and had time to review. This is the concession agreement that is set to expire. It is required as part of our Corsell Brothers Federal Lands to Parks agreement. Everything on here has been reviewed by legal, and you will see on the 5th page that there is kind of a note in there because with the federal shutdown, we have been unable to make contact with our contacts that we've had at the federal agency that we need. So we are, the advice from legal was to move forward with that clause in there so that should something come up, we would have 60 days notice in there to make that adjustment if needed. So I would be asking the board to allow the mayor to sign the agreement.
And this is North Street Extension, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the Corsell Brothers Building, 16 North Street Extension.
Okay. Do we have a motion to start the conversation?
Motion to
Suspend the rules.
suspend the rules.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Now we can discuss
Okay.
it.
Authorize the mayor to sign the concession agreement.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, sorry. Slow it down here. Any debate, questions, conversation? No? All right, now we'll help them. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
That's what I have.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
And next up will be our planning director, Ed Bove. And this is regarding city-owned properties committee recommendations for the sale of 113 Library Avenue and 301 West Street and 52 Pine Street.
And 49 Pine Street.
And 49 Pine Street.
Actually, point of order, it's not on the agenda.
Yes, it is. It's on our,
Page 11.
it's on the memo that we received from Ed.
It's in our board packet. But there is a discrepancy between the agenda contents and the content of the memo.
Yeah, it's kind of a dot, dot, dot.
I see, yep.
Page 11.
Correct. There are 4 properties listed on page 11. but
Yep.
only 3 listed on the agenda as potential action items.
Yeah.
What's your pleasure?
Can you add to the agenda?
Right.
I'll move
So
to,
we'll so note for the record that it was a dot, 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 and it didn't list the item on the front page of the agenda. It is contained in the packet, and it's on the letter that went to us on November 17th. But, okay. So,
I
wanna
just
start
have a
with you?
question,
Oh,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah,
Can
go
it
ahead.
be added to the agenda?
I think we can do that if we want to, absolutely.
So moved.
Yeah, okay. So let's do that, just so that we have it correct. Is there a second to that motion? Go ahead.
I'm not seconding it, but I believe we have to make additions and deletions to the agenda.
At the
during
beginning of the meeting.
beginning, during additions and deletions, and they can't be made afterward. That was the guidance we received from the Secretary of State's training a couple years ago.
All right, so did we have a second to the motion? It was just
I
made,
think Mike seconded for debate, did you not?
What?
Did you second for debate?
No, I'll call it a point of order about not being able to.
okay,
Second for
so-
debate.
Okay, so the motion is made and seconded, we can talk about it. We've heard Alderman Talbot's point.
Prejudging, but I want to make sure I don't get left out again.
Cal, we're recording this, and I can't have you talking over it from behind the rail, but thanks. So, any discussion about Alderman Talbot's point? Is there any concern about bringing that up? I don't think there is an issue of bringing it up during the meeting, as long as we all approve that we want to do that. We'll need 6. 1, 2,
It's in
3.
the memo.
We have 7 people voting, so we'll need 6 of the 7 to say yes to that, if we're going to go forward with it.
Mr. Chairman? if I may.
Yep, Alderman
So,
Clifford.
To Alderman Talbot's point, if that's the case, could we put it on another agenda if we wish to, or?
Oh, sure. Next meeting, if that's what you mean. Is this time sensitive in any way?
Throwing that out there, so.
Go ahead,
I just think
Alderman
it's
Talbot.
important that we not create any questions about the process via which this was done that could be problematic or expensive for the city later, so that we make sure that we get it warned properly. But if we're going to add it to the agenda, we do it when we're directed to do so at the top of the meeting.
Fair enough.
I don't know when I get to participate.
Any other questions? All right, let me take the vote, see where we're at there. All those in favor of that motion to add it to the agenda, please signify by saying aye. And opposed?
No.
Okay, so I hear that failing. So, do you want to discuss the other three?
I will move forward, and I will also mention it in the report, because I'm reporting out from the City-Owned Properties Committee, and then it'll just be for information for a future agenda, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the City-Owned Properties Committee, we met on November 7th to review the applications for 113 Library Avenue, 301 West Street, 49 and 52 Pine Street. And that followed the bid opening that we had for those same properties. So I'm just going to run through what the highest, or the bids that were chosen were, and then we can go from there. 113 Library Avenue, the highest bidder was Habitat for Humanity, and they bid $20,000. So the committee recommended sale to Habitat for 113 Library Avenue. 301 West Street was Cal DeRosa. and the highest bid was $47,000. And just for reference, the city was owed from tax sale and holding costs about $33,000. So we covered that for the city. We made back what we were owed on it. And how it works with tax sale is whatever the bid is that comes over what we are owed, it goes back to the person who it came from, or whoever controls I don't know the legalese on what they control of the property, but it has to go back to the original owner. 49 Pine Street, the highest bid was $40,500, and that went to Jane Koval. So that's the one I think we will discuss at a future meeting. And the city was owed $26,000 on that one, so we made our money back on that one as well. And then 52 Pine Street, the one that was chosen was Devin Minieri, and that was $70,000. It was not the highest bid, but that was the one that was chosen by the committee. And we were into that property for $29,000, so that one went for significantly over what we were owed. So those are the 4 recommendations from the City-Owned Properties Committee.
Okay, questions? Go ahead, Alderman Talbot.
I'm going to make a motion to suspend the rules and take up 113 Library Avenue, 301 West Street, and 52 Pine Street.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll make a motion to accept the committee's recommendations for the sale of 113 Library Avenue, 301 West Street, and 52 Pine Street.
Do you have a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. And discussion. We'll start over here with Alderman Adams.
Yeah,
I like saying that, Alderman Adams.
could you just please elaborate on why a lower bid was selected for, what was it?
52.
52 Pine Street.
I think it was just the committee, that's the way they voted. I think they looked at all the applications and who applied, and it was what they went with, and those are the votes that they went with.
Who was on the committee?
So I am on it, Alderman Allaire, Alderman Alderperson Taddeo, Sean Adkins from the RRA, and Ed Clark from the RRA.
Thank you.
A couple other hands around here. Alderman Kubali, did you have your hand up?
I'm good.
Alderman Clifford.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do the same question. What is the reason, like you said, they just, are these meetings recorded? Are they?
There's minutes.
Okay.
One of the objections was that it wasn't loud enough. When does the public get to
Please,
participate?
Cam, you can't,
And I was told by
you can't just
the
yell
public
out.
that I'd be able to talk.
Cam, please, you can't just yell out from the back of the
I
room.
know, what I'm asking, how do I communicate?
I'm asking you not to do that.
You're asking me not to participate in this activity.
Right now, we're inside the rail. This is the Rutland City Board of Aldermen meeting. I don't think you're one of the aldermen, are you?
No, but then
Okay,
there's
then
traditionally-
please take your seat for a moment while we stay inside the rail, see if there's any further questions from the board.
I get to talk is what I'm asking. For some reason, it isn't an issue of being loud enough that it can't be recorded. The issue is the public's supposed to participate. I need to know when to raise my hand.
So Cam, we've had this conversation many times before.
Well, first of
We
all,
ask you not to be disruptive to the meetings.
talk in front of the thing.
I have, we have
I do not
decorum.
understand what
We have decorum here. I'm not going to debate it with you. So let's stay inside the rail here for a second. So,
There's a
Alderman
member
Town.
of the public with his hand up over here.
Right. So we'll get there in just a second. I want to make sure there's anybody else inside the rail that has a question that's on the Rutland City Board of Aldermen. Or any comments? Okay. So I'm going to go to Mr. Ruggiero.
You want me to go up there?
I would have to have you do that, yeah. I'd have to have you go over here so we have it recorded, and also just state your name and address for the record, John. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. I'm John Ruggiero. I live here in Rutland City at Tennybrook Court, and I happen to be the high bidder on 52 Pine Street here in Rutland. I bid $80,000. The next bid was $70,000. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at that meeting, and I think if I had been at that meeting, we probably wouldn't be here tonight. So I really I wasn't at the meeting, so I can't get into reasons why, but what I heard was, and I don't believe it was recorded, was it, Ed? There were minutes, but it wasn't recorded. So I kind of got bits and pieces of what was done. I think, and people that were at the meeting can correct me, the reason for not giving the high bid was that I owed taxes on Cleveland Avenue. That was apparently one of the reasons. Had I been there, I could have explained to the committee that there is a letter agreement with the city for the city to take over Cleveland Avenue for the taxes, which we signed in December of 2023. That's the reason why the taxes haven't been paid. So essentially, we've been waiting for the environmental impact study to be done, and I have asked the city, well, that's done, can we move along? Well, we need to get the TIF in place. Let's just wait for that to happen. So don't pay the taxes. After the vote on the TIF, we'll enter into a purchase and sale agreement, and lo and behold, the city would take over Cleveland Avenue, and I would be relieved of the taxes. And it wouldn't be that I'd be relieved of the taxes, that's the purchase price. So whatever the taxes were is the purchase price for Cleveland Avenue. And frankly, the value of the property went up a lot once the TIF was put into place, because there is some development value there. Long story short, had I been at that committee, I could have explained to them that the taxes are not paid, not because I don't want to pay the taxes, is because we have an agreement with the city. So it's kind of ironic that I don't get the high bid because I haven't paid the taxes, but I haven't paid the taxes because the city is taking over the property for the taxes. Now, I think there were some other comments made I won't get into, but I'm here wearing a couple of hats, you should know. The person that owned the property prior to the tax sale was a man named Raymond Jetty. Mr. Jetty died. I bought all of the claims of the estate. Okay, so I got all of the rights of the estate. So whether I get the bid or the next person gets the bid, as Ed explained, the excess, the difference between whatever's owed in the taxes and the bid goes to the previous owner who has rights to the property. That would be me. The reason that I bid $80,000 is I thought, one, it's a fair price, and two, I wanted to create the value of the property because I didn't want the city to sell it for 40 because I was going to get the difference between what taxes were owed and the excess. So 40 is a very good deal for that property. 80 is fair. So I thought, well, if somebody pays more than 80, fine. But if somebody pays less than 80, I should get the property because basically that's what the fair market value of the property is. So I shouldn't have been penalized for not paying the taxes on Cleveland Avenue because I have a deal with the city not to pay the taxes so the city could buy the property. And I was penalized. I think there was also a little bit of maybe misperception of what I do in the city, and I'm a landlord in the city. I buy a lot of properties in the city. So there was a little bit maybe of some negativity going on there, but I'm not here to tout, but I can tell you, I'm probably one of the biggest landlords in town. I rent to all kinds of people, refugees, poor people, homeless people, people from Brock, people from Council on Aging. I house a lot of people in this community. And lately, I've been buying a lot of houses that I have been rehabbing and selling to owner-occupied owners on Baxter Street, on Franklin Street, on Cherry Street, in the neighborhoods that people do not want to go into, in neighborhoods that I grew up in. It is a business plan of mine to buy properties in the worst neighborhoods, rehab those properties, and find people who will own or occupy those properties. Aside from the need for all these apartments we need, which I'm doing left and right. I have probably 50 apartments going right now, being rehabilitated. So I'm not sure where it all comes from, that somehow there's a negativity, and it could be Cleveland Avenue because of the taxes that are due, but we have a legitimate agreement. It shouldn't be held against me. I should have gotten the bid, and as the previous owner representative, I think the city has an obligation to sell that property at the highest bid. I really do. And whether you give it to, this other fellow or myself, really doesn't matter. But I shouldn't have been penalized.
John, I'm going to Alderman Talbot.
Yeah, so it sounds like
Thank you, John.
maybe there's some more discussion to be had around 52 Pine Street, so I'd make a motion to refer that back to the city-owned property committee.
Second that.
I believe a motion to refer.
Okay, and
trumps
you're the
motion.
maker of the original motion, so,
I would make a motion, if you're fine with it, I'll remove 52 Pine Street from my motion on 119 Library Avenue and 301 West Street.
yes,
And then I can make the motion to refer after.
perfect, okay.
Is the
And
seconder
yeah,
agree?
if we, was that?
Yes.
Alderman Adams,
Can't
okay.
remember who it was.
Okay,
You
so
got-
that's the
you got
motion.
on it.
Currently, it's for 113 and 301, okay? John, I think we're all set for the minute. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
just in case somebody had a question.
So is there any more inside the rail on those two properties at this moment, at this juncture? If not, I'm going to go to Mr. Johnson.
Looked like Ed wanted to say something.
Well, I just recognized you, so how about that? But if you could, again, Kim, just give us your name and address for the record.
Well, this is short and sweet because I'll get cut off otherwise. I gave you my name and number earlier, so I think that's sufficient. I'm talking about 52. I'm of the opinion that there's collateral title there too, and litigation and the other stuff, so I think the referral is entirely appropriate. But again, buyer beware. Thanks.
Thank you, Kim. Back to Planning Director Bove for a moment, and then we'll move forward.
Okay, so I will schedule a meeting of city-owned properties to talk about the 2 Pine Street properties. And
Okay, and
then,
a subsequent motion, we'll refer it back, so. All right, excellent. Okay, I'm going to move it along, so I think unless there's, did you have something, Alderman Woolman?
Well, I was just going
Davis.
to, Mr. Ruggieri talks about an agreement with the city for Cleveland Avenue. I don't know that that agreement's come to this board. I've not seen an agreement. Has it? It's a proposed project for TIF, but I don't know that that has a lot of, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know that this board has just said, we forget about the taxes and things like that have come here. So I don't know where that agreement stands. So maybe if we're proposing that it goes back to committee, that we get all of the pieces of the puzzles
Yeah,
put together.
no, that's perfect. Yeah, agreed. Okay. All right, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion to approve 113 and Library Avenue and 301 West Street as proposed, those two sales out of the 4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Perfect. Okay, those pass. Now Alderman
A
Talbot.
motion to refer 52 Pine Street and 49 Pine Street back to city-owned properties committee.
Perfect. And a second to that?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. Barely. All right, let's move on to, so we're all, I think on that one, Ed, we're all set. Okay? But I think you're still on the, yes, you're still up. So, let's move right on to the review of land development regulations subsequent to the public hearing earlier this evening.
so we had a public hearing earlier tonight on the land development regulations. I don't think there were any public comments. I explained some of the work we had done on the draft since the Planning Commission meeting. And I don't really have more to add than that, and that I think we're ready to adopt it.
Okay.
It's been baked. It's fully baked.
So I do think we have to suspend the rules again, all right?
Move to suspend the rules.
Okay, thank you. Second. Second. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed. All right, so the land use regulations are, as proposed, are now before you. They had been referred previously back to the Planning Commission, now they're back to us again. So what is the pleasure of the board at this juncture?
Motion to approve the land development regulations.
Okay, So we have a motion to adopt, and is there a signature required or anything? No, no signature, okay, all right. So approve, adopt, combo,
Adopt.
adopt. And we have a sec,
I don't know.
who was the second?
Second.
Second, okay, you got that?
Yep.
All right. Okay, further discussion? Questions for Planning Director Bove? All right, hearing none, I will call the motion. All those in favor of the motion to approve as proposed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. All set.
Thank you.
Planning Director Bove, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, it looks like our illustrious city treasurer is up next, Mary Markowski. Financial reports for city and RRA for the period ending October 31st, 2025.
Yeah, so I have two things on the agenda tonight, one being the October financial reports, and I really wanted to get those to the boards for reference as we head into the budget. So won't spend a lot of time on those. What I did want to, I don't want to forget, but what I'd like to do is, I've been very busy just getting ready for the audit, pension meetings and a lot of things, but I had worked on local option tax. That we have two accounts. We have the local option tax where we receive all of the money when it comes in, and then we have shifted some of that to the capital reserve fund. And I thought as we get into the budget, it's likely to come up what's in that account, how much have we raised and stuff. So the budget meeting for finance has not been scheduled yet, but I'd love to refer that local option tax discussion to that finance committee.
So moved.
Okay, so is that, again, do we have to suspend the rules to take that up tonight?
it's referred.
Nope, it's referred, okay.
Okay.
All right, so everyone knows what it's the local option tax to the finance committee report regarding the budget, is that?
Yes, yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Just so we
That's
can
what I
get
think
it
I
in
heard.
there.
Okay,
I think
and
that
it's been
was my
seconded.
understanding what the motion should have been.
Say it again, sir.
That was my understanding
Oh,
what the
yep,
motion should have been.
thank you very much, Alderman Gillum. Okay, all those in favor of that motion then, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed. And the motion carries.
Okay,
Back
thanks.
to you, Mary.
Thank you for that. We did receive the first quarter local option tax. We received it in early November, and it's tracking pretty close to the previous year, about 399,000, I think it was. Yeah. So we're about the end of the year, about 1.6 million is what we've been collecting annually on that, but I'll give more details about how we've spent those funds or allocated those funds so far. So I did want, so I thank you for that, because I didn't want to forget that. At the end of October, we have $20 million in city bank accounts, 4.8 million in the general fund, special revenue funds, capital project funds, and the water sewer capital. So we have, when I say that number, a lot of that is capital funds, including local option tax in that. Delinquent report, as of October 31st, the total prior year property taxes are 1.1 million. So I think it was about 1.4 when we closed the year. So we're making progress, however slow. You can imagine being a taxpayer with a large delinquency, and it's really tough. And so we have sent letters for tax sale. We are in a payment agreements with some. We have some that will go to tax sale in January and in February, and possibly some others to do. But the rules for tax sales changed where you have to, offer a reasonable payment agreement on these. So we've been doing that, and Linda in the office has really been juggling. We've stopped with the water shutoffs, but still managing those payment agreements. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of manual work. But we're doing it. I'm happy to get into a payment agreement. I'd rather I have some people call when they are behind by $5,000 or $500. I want the discussion early before we're talking 15, and it's a tougher discussion. So we are working on those.
We did, through the process of shut-off, we really are able to enter agreements. There are only very few accounts that actually go to shut-off in the last round, so that was good. The pooled cash is something that I always bring up because what happens is it's almost like we're lending to the water sewer fund, so they have cash to be able to operate. So while the auditors are in, I asked for, I think they're going to prepare a couple of different schedules to help us look at those funds and what's happening and really assess high level on those. Do we have a problem? How are we going to build that cash back up? Because it really drains the general fund's ability to, especially as we have TIF obligations where maybe we have to use not spending city dollars, but just those resources. So that I welcome their input on that. I've asked, I'm an open book when the audit comes. This is what we need, and this is an area that I've been concerned about. So I've asked them to prepare a little bit more with the water sewer funds, given that. Now, on the balance sheet, you'll see the unassigned fund balance is about 1.5 million. We always talk about that. We did a little bit of messing with the unassigned fund balance when we set the tax rate. So it really is about 2.3. So it's pretty healthy unassigned fund balance right when we're looking at it right now. So I prepared I like to break down the budget. It's too hard to look at all of the departments, but general services, it's about, we're 4 months into about 33% of the budget. At 30% of the budget, general government services, that would be treasurer's department, clerk's department, assessor, attorney, all grouped in together, those departments. So really tracking with, where we would be. The largest portion of the budget is the public safety. It's police and fire. It represents 45% of the general fund budget, and right now tracking a little bit over what we would expect for the end of October. And I did have someone ask about the overtime. We've kind of been tracking that. Last year there was a lot of overtime spending, much compared to what we had budgeted. We overspent overtime in both of those departments. So in the current year, in the police department, the budget is $356,000 and we've spent $156,000. And in the fire department, the budget is $139,000 and we've spent 81. So we're kind of tracking like we did last year and could see some overspending in that line.
And those, if I may, those are the overtime lines?
Yeah, just the overtime, the one main overtime line. So on top to that, the recreation department represents almost 10% of the city budget, and that's a little bit over at 38% for the period. Then the rest I kind of looped together, the library, debt, pension at 43%. That represents almost 14% of our budget. And trying to hit highlights. Water fund, we've had 2 billing cycles. Sewer fund, 2 billing cycles. So the expenses are a little bit high, but not concerning, I don't think, at this point. So parking fund revenue is at 26% of budget and expenses at 23%. The transit fund for the first quarter, it's only the first quarter activity, and I love when the revenues exceeds expenses by almost $10,000. So now as we enter the snow season, we'll likely see that change, so the plowing. And in the RRA, the expenses are at 31% of the budget for the RRA when I'm looking at that. There's a lot there in the report. Any questions on the budgets or anything that you see? And if you have questions, what I thought I would do as we enter the budget, as we get there, I'm going to have somebody put the proposed budget in our system So to run, here's the 27, here's the 26, some comparative with the actual, I think that would help as we're going. I mean, this $3 million increase is how do you deal with that? So I'm going to try to give you a little bit more reporting that might help see some things, and it makes it easier to look at specific things like health insurance. What is that group, and or overtime, salaries, and those things. So feel free, if you have questions, reach out to me if you're concerned. I mean, it's easy to look at the budget by departments, but you might want to be looking at it sometimes a little bit like, what are the big items here? So, I'll get that ready for before December, before the first meeting. So,
And Mary, are you working with the auditors currently?
yeah, they started last week. They were in the first day last week. So they've collected a lot of stuff.
You do have a plate full then.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. Yeah, yep. But I was happy to have the report ready for you early this time. So, any questions?
Anything inside the rail? No. Okay. I guess it was very comprehensive, so thank you, Mary.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks.
Okay, you're still up, though. We have pension
Yes.
committee? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
We had a pension meeting on the 5th of November. This meeting, we had the actuary from Future Plan. He has been with the plan since before I was here. So he is not just doing the valuation, but I can tell you when I have a question on the pension, I could call him and he knows our pension, like, okay, it gets right back to me. So very good. But I think we had a really good meeting. It's combined with the school and the city looking at, we would look first at the city plan, the school plan, and then the plan as a whole. So there were a lot of different items that came up, but I'm not going to read all the minutes because I'm just going to give you highlights. The city plan, market value of assets, about 27 million for the valuation. And the market return on assets is about 11.6. So we have in the plan as managing the plan, we plan for a discount rate of about 7%. So we want to get at least 7% to keep this thing going. And we're always asking the investment advisor and the actuary, is that a reasonable target, that 7%, and that still seems to be a good target for the plan. Interestingly, in the city pension, which is closed, as of the valuation date, there were 40 active participants, and when I looked, we were down to 35 active. That means there's only 35 employees who are actively contributing to the plan. So, and the average future service of the remaining members is about 5.25 years. So we're moving through on the city side. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you will see in the budget that we adopted a plan to really address, because we have that unfunded liability. So it's a long-term plan, but we could see this year on the city side, and I think I highlighted for you, was the actuary says, this is what we recommend that you put in it, and we were at 93% recommendation, which is really big for us. The recommendation was just over 2 million, and I think the city contribution was 1.9. This thing isn't going away. So when we budget, it's very sad for whoever the mayor is, that there's a line item in our budget that's $1.5 million. It's either in one separate line or it's in the payroll line. So that is in the budget, and it will have, right now the market is really high, so it's really helping us through this, but I mean, so many things impact this pension, but so we're gaining, there's progress being made. So on the city side, but I do want to speak about the school because we spent quite a bit of time on the school. The school pension is the market return 11.79, value of assets 88.5 million. They have 450 active participants in the school. and Ted from the school reported out that this, for the school, they have the state pension and they have the city pension, but 93% of those who are eligible for this pension sign up to this pension. So it's a pretty attractive benefit for this school. The school is also meeting the actuarial recommended contributions. And in 2017, I believe the school adopted a plan to kind of looking at the unfunded, because they're at 92%. The goal is to get to that 100%. So they had adopted a plan to amortize that unfunded liability by 20 years. So we had some discussions with the actuary. What would it look like if we shortened that schedule a little bit? And it might improve the look of that plan. So it was something that the actuary will work on, give some recommendations, and revisit, and likely have another meeting on that part of the plan. But as a whole, when you combine all of the plans, the funding status is at 79%. So we're close to 80. So that's really good for the plan. And this is something that when we go out for bond debt, all they want is, this is a big number. The unfunded liability is huge. So what's the city's plan to address this? So the fact that we have a plan, although long-term, and we're addressing it, and the local option tax really gave us the ability to put a little bit more there. It's really good. It really looks good for the city. We've got TIF debt. We've got all kinds of things coming on. So this is really important that we keep this moving forward. There was some discussion at the school level, and it didn't go very far because the Act 73 redistricting, and how is that going to impact the Rutland schools? So really high level, wondering how would that impact our pension, but in speaking with Ted from the school, a lot of unknowns there, so we really are not sure. I think that we would have to reach out to council if we were adding additional, just how it would look the future for the city pension. If there were an increased number of eligible employees, there were some concerns on the school side. Just to look at it, start planning for that, if planning, but just making some decisions. So,
Right.
Okay, so that's what I have, and I'm sure I wanted to tell you more about the pension, but I was so thrilled to see that we were meeting that actuarial amount for one time. So,
Right.
All right.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Treasurer Mikowski, thank you very much. Okay, we'll get on to reports of standing committees. I'm just going to read our Community and Economic Development Committee meeting minutes because we don't have any action that needs to be taken. So the Community and Economic Development Committee meeting took place on November 6th, 2025. The topic was the Rutland Shopping Plaza, parentheses, Walmart, and Brixmore. Community and Economic Development Committee of the Rutland City Board of Aldermen met on that date at 5:30 here in City Council chambers. Committee members present included Chair Donahue, Alderman Gillum, Alderwoman McClure, and Alderman Whitcomb. A quorum was present and voting. Also in attendance, Aldermanic Board President David Allaire, Alderman Coopely, Alderman Clifford, and Alderman Tablet. Other city officials included Sean Adkins, Executive Director of the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, Mayor Mike Dunges, I should add, as well as Rutland City Planning Director Ed Bove, and Mary Markowski was at that one too. Members of the public included John and Devin McCann, Chris Sartori, and Steve Costello. Members of the media included city reporter Gordon Justillo of the Rutland Herald. And I opened the meeting at 5:32, Alderman Donahue, Chair, and we turned the presentation over to Mayor Dunges and Sean Adkins, who discussed the current status of Walmart, their intention to relocate out of the city by 2027. The task force, formerly chaired by Lyle Jepson at Cedar, now lies with Sean Adkins at the RRA, as Lyle has accepted an appointment from the governor as Vermont Commissioner of Economic Development. The conversation centered mostly around the city officials expressing their struggles connecting with the property owner, Brixmore Property Group. I have an asterisk there that I'll get to at the end. Sean Adkins indicated that the city did not have site control, so there was not much to discuss at this point, although there have been many conversations and ideas about what could be at the site. None were discussed at the committee meeting. The mayor discussed a Walmart departure fund, and President Allaire expressed his concern for loss of the retail element there. He also expressed that the board needs to be involved and kept up to date as to what is happening. The mayor noted that Alderman Gillum and Alderwoman Davis serve on the task force. Alderman Clifford inquired about the existence of documents from Walmart 30 years ago and any kind of commitment to the city at that time. The mayor indicated that their research had not produced any formal documents. Alderman Whitcomb inquired about conceptual plans, and Ed Bove, planning director, mentioned the Rutland Regional Planning Commission's completed a planning process with renderings and drawings, including architectural conceptual drawings with various uses, including the larger parcel, and anticipated the release of these any day now. Alderwoman McClure inquired if the Downtown Rutland Partnership was represented on the task force, which was answered in the affirmative. And Alderman Coopely inquired about any known effects on other current tenants. And Alderwoman McClure inquired about current percentage of vacancies in the plaza. Chair Donahue indicated that the committee report will be informational only with no formal action taken, that this issue will remain in committee to continue to be discussed and reported back to the full board. The asterisk is that it noted here that Brixmor executives have contacted several city officials and the Rutland Herald since the meeting. Chair Donahue went around the room for a comment outside the rail. Hearing none, Alderwoman McClure moved to adjourn, seconded by Alderman Whitcomb. Motion passed, and the meeting concluded at 5:59 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Tom Donahue, Community and Economic Development Committee Chair. I think we can just, I don't know if we need to receive and place on file or just do nothing. Okay. Thank you for your, the moment to hear that all, and we'll leave it in committee, and as things unfold, though, we'll be available to the mayor and his task force and the RRA and their team to act if necessary on different opportunities that may arise. Hopefully those conversations. So going back to standing committees of the board, we're going to move on to Alderwoman Davis and the Public Safety Committee meeting of November 13th, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee met on November 13th. Members present were Alderman Donahue, Gillum, Whitcomb, McClure, and Chair Davis. Others present were President Allaire, Alderman Talbot, Coopely, Taddeo, Chris Loris from the Rutland City Homeless Response Team, and Russell Flaherty. The meeting began at 5:30. The topic was the Vermont Extreme Cold Weather Shelter Program. Chris Loris gave a synopsis of the proposed program to be held at the Rutland Free Library in the Nellie Fox Room. The state will control when the shelter opens, and the full reimbursement of costs will be made to the city. It is estimated to be open 20 nights between the hours of 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. It will not interfere with the library hours. It is triggered by temperatures of 10 below, including a wind chill as a factor. 4 staff members will be on duty. Staffing will include the police department, community resources, and professionals from Rutland Mental Health. There will also be availability of folks who have some medical training. Other sites in the city were investigated but were not available or did not meet the needs. They all are welcome. It is on a first-come, first-served basis. No animals will be allowed. Also, I want to say that this was approved by the library personnel and supported by their board of trustees. They felt that this was a mission that was part of the library. The motion is to approve the formal agreement between VIA and the state and the city of Rutland, and approve the budgetary expenses that will be fully reimbursed to the city, and I so move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
The meeting adjourned at 6:30, and it was respectfully submitted by myself as chair.
It was Thursday Night Football, and you promised I'd be home, and you kept your promise.
I got you home. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we're going to go on to, we have, Alderwoman McClure was not able to attend tonight. She has the Human Resource Committee meeting minutes. I think you all have a copy in front of you. And a member of that committee is Alderman Clifford, who is kind enough to represent Alderwoman McClure in reading those minutes.
Mr. President, so Human Resource Committee met October 30th. The time of the meeting was called to order approximately 5:30 p.m. Attendees were Alderwoman McClure, Alderman Clifford, Alderman Whitcomb, Alderwoman Taddeo, Alderman Talbot, Alderman Allaire, Ellen Coyle of HR, April Cioffi, the Rec, Desiree Stone Feliciano of the HR. The committee returned to the draft background check documents for the Parks and Recreations originally drafted by Cindy White and city employees as a whole. These documents were cleaned up by Recreation Superintendent Cioffi and City Human Resources Ellen Coyle, incorporating feedback from the previous meeting. Human Resources shared that the city is now vetted and approved through WSYB, allowing the Parks and Recreation Department to begin background check process through this system, which will result in reduced costs moving forward. Desiree and Ellen are the only two approved individuals who will be submitting and receiving the results. This process is standardized in the standard operating procedure stored in the Human Resources Office. The primary remaining point of discussion was the inclusion of the regular follow-up background checks for current employees. Alderman Whitcomb expressed concern that implementing follow-up background checks for continued employment. Alderman Talbot agreed, warning this would be a change in the condition of employment, could open up the city to potential grievances and require collective bargaining, referencing the potential for pushback. Superintendent Cioffi suggested sending this document to legal counsel to ensure all legal aspects are covered, dotting our I's, crossing our T's, and specifically considering impact on union employees. The committee agreed that removing the clause concerning follow-up checks was the most prudent action to avoid immediate bargaining or grievances, with the possibility of addressing it during the next contract negotiation or via a side letter. A motion was made to strike the lines 5 and 6 that mention the reoccurring background checks from the Parks and Recreations background check document and send the revised document to outside counsel for legal review. The motion was seconded, passed unanimously, and I so move.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay. Any questions for Surrogate Clifford? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
The committee pivoted to the general citywide background check document, which had been previously edited and distributed. Alderwoman McClure noted that to maintain consistency with the decision on the Parks and Recreation document, lines concerning follow-up background checks should likely be removed. A motion was made to strike lines 4 and 5 from the general citywide background check document and send the revised document to legal counsel for final review before being presented to the board. The motion was seconded and passed unanimously, and I so move.
Do we have a second? Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And that motion carries.
Alderman Whitcomb suggested referring the discussion of the stricken content, lines 5, 6, 4, and 5, regarding recurring background checks back to committee for future discussion in preparation for the next cycle of union negotiations. It was noted that the mayor and the city attorney are the primary negotiators. The motion was modified to refer the matter directly to the mayor for consideration during the next negotiation period. The motion was seconded and passed unanimously, and I so move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries.
Meeting adjourned at 5:46 p.m.
Thank you very much, Alderman Clifford.
Mr. Chairman,
And
if I may.
thank you, Alderwoman McClure.
If the meeting minutes could reflect that I was also present at that meeting.
Yes, please. Clerk so note? Thank you very much, Tracy. Okay. Oh, and Alderman Coopoli was there as well. Thank you. So noted. All right. Reports of representatives. Anyone? How about petitions, letters, or miscellaneous communications? Board of Control Commissioners, no. Board of Cannabis Commissioners, no. Unfinished business, miscellaneous motions, resolutions, and new business. Before we get on to the final item, the executive session, are there any unfinished business, miscellaneous motions, resolutions, or new business? Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to refer to Charter and Ordinance Committee for discussion the topic of having the DPW Director, the DPW Commissioner, Recreation Superintendent, and Planning Director to be contracted positions like the police and fire chief are. This would require a charter change, but I believe it would be a conversation worth having.
Okay. We have a second. Okay, motion's made and seconded. Questions for Alderman Clifford on that motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of that referral to Charter and Ordinance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Any other further unfinished business, miscellaneous motions, resolutions, or new business? Okay, hearing none, we will entertain a motion to go into the executive session. Uh-oh. You gave me that document, and I... Bear with me a second, because we have a document to maybe make that motion. Well prepared by our city clerk. And I jumbled it in the file. Let's see, so we want both motions, and so the first motion, I'll read aloud and see if everyone's in agreement. The motion is to, motion to find that premature general public knowledge regarding outside counsel's analysis of a legal matter would clearly place the city at a substantial disadvantage because the discussion will include confidential attorney-client communications made for the purpose of providing professional legal services to the city. So will we be going into this one and then going into the other ones separate? We're going to go in twice?
We're going to read both of those and then go across the hall.
So moved.
Okay, so we're going to vote on motion number 1 first. And we have Alderwoman Davis has moved the motion. We now have a seconder. And hearing no debate, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, that motion carries. Okay. So now we're going to go into number 2. Motion to enter into executive session with the inclusion of outside counsel, mayor, or acting mayor, in this case, city clerk, parks and recreation superintendent, police chief, administrative assistant to the city attorney's office, and that is to discuss council's analysis of a legal matter as allowed under Title I, Section 313A1F. And do we have a motion to that effect?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are now in executive session. We are adjourning to across the hall. And that has been noted on the board. Thank you.